Eventually, you're going to need to beat the weft down into place. I prefer this little, if I can't have my Shannock beaters, then I prefer to use this little weighted beater that works every bit as good as my more expensive beaters. And it has, I can change the amount of weight that's on it. I hold it in my hand like this so that it's loose, because the one thing I don't want to do is have my hand like this so that these are tight. And I can get more beating if I use it like a whip. So this thumb has no pressure on it. It's just balancing it in place, and then I just come along and go like that. And the process of just the snap of the beater back and forth is more than I could get if I just really hit it hard. I thought I'd just weave a couple passes because it's really a very fast process to do this once you get started. I'm used to using, the process to do this is going to be a little slower because I have to reach up and manually switch the sheds. Generally on my Mirrix, I use treadles. So each time I have to reach up and switch, it takes a little bit more time. But the process is always the same. The knob goes through first. I may have to unwind that a bit. Point the bobbin in, get my bubble, and then go back like this. And it can take a few passes in order for it to cover, because I haven't beaten this down yet. But it gets to be a very easy process. Now, if I only wanted to go partially across the shed, I would still do the process of putting my fingers in and deciding how wide I wanted to go. And it's still the process of knob first, side of the bobbin. But I always make sure that I have, when I do the final beating, I will beat on a closed shed. Open the shed for the next pass. Hope I get the right shed. Hold it open like this with my fingers. Put the knob through first. And I get so that I can do this when I have my treadles, so that I can do this with one hand. So that it would go, the action is more like this. And I just switch it in my fingers like this, which I'm putting this in the same shed just to show how it goes. I'm actually unweaving now. But the idea is that I can hold and twist the bobbin like this with one hand. I can either choose to do it two-handed, which would be when I came back like this. I could pick it up with this hand here. But it's a back and forth motion like this in the hand, which makes it so you can weave much faster. And because I'm using a shorter bobbin, I don't have to pull that much through the sheds. Whereas with a longer Gobelin style bobbin, I would have to pull a bobbin through. These are the tools that we'll be using in the video of how to use bobbins and the care and feeding of bobbins. This is a pair of clippers. I prefer clippers when working because I think scissors with long shanks are very dangerous to have around warps because you lack the control and someone always cuts a warp. These are gratteurs. This is a large gratteur and this is a small gratteur. This is a Swedish bobbin, and this is a beater that is composed of weights that are bolted to the fork. One can choose to have more or less weight on the beater.